Good morning. I'm the Reverend Kevin Tarsa, if we have not met yet. Now would be a great time to silence our cell phones and other devices, wherever they are. Yeah, part of our modern day rituals, right? To silence our devices in order to be present. We are committed to being in right relationship with the Nisenan, the indigenous people of this land who are still here among us today. We are committed to being in right relationship and all that asks of us. These black oak acorns are a symbol of our commitment. Joe Waters offers our chalice lighting words this morning. Thank you, Joe.
Love Can Transform the World by Maureen Killeran. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires this faith we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and the blessing of the love we need, the love we give, the love we are challenged always to remember and to share.
Good morning. Won't you please take a moment to greet those around you? Good morning. I am Lindsay Dunkel, and I'm delighted to be your worship associate this morning. This morning, we're exploring the center of the values of our denomination, that our denomination is in the midst of adopting: love. You look up here at this marvelous wheel, you'll see that love is at the center, and it stays there even as the wheel turns. Ooh. Love is the anchor. No, it's a really short word, right? Just 4 letters, L-O-V-E. It's really quite huge, isn't it? How do we get our arms around it, so to speak? How do we define love? It's a word that we use to indicate all kinds of things, from I love ice cream to I love you to I love peace. As we gathered this morning, those of you in the room and on Zoom were invited to draw a visual response to the prompt, love is ... And I imagine that there are many different takes on the many facets of love. So let's see a show of hands. How many of you drew something to eat or drink? It's a much deeper crowd than that. And folks on Zoom, if you want to share what you drew in any of these categories as we go on, please raise your hand either virtually on the screen and we can share. You can hold your drawing up and we can see it. How many drew oh. How many drew a person or people? Yeah, quite a number of hands in the room on that one. An animal or animals, also that. An abstract image. Who has something else that doesn't fit in one of those categories that they drew? A graph. A graph. And nature, I heard. Nature. A word. What else? Anybody else on Zoom want to share a drawing? A place. Yeah. Yeah, there's a children's book that I love called All the Places to Love. It's a sweet book. Oh, all right. Thank you for sharing. And when we collect the offering, you're invited to put your drawing into the basket as well. And now we are going to send the light upstairs with the children who get to go have their own kids connection time. We will send part of our chalice with them to light their chalice with. But we will sing this little light of mine. So welcome, one and all, each and every. However you or I define love, wherever we might be in our wrestling with life's big questions, whatever burdens we come bearing today, welcome. It is good to be together. Together in this space, creating community virtually and in person, making something holy. May we find peace and connection in being together. May we inspire one another to growth. Today, friends, love is our topic. Love, at its best, is a verb. By placing love at the center of the values, the people who have drafted the Article 2 revisions that lay out the values and beliefs of Unitarian Universalism are saying that we are called not just to believe in our values, but to act on them, both by cultivating ourselves and through our actions in the world. Like many of you, I select a word for the year that serves as both an anchor for my reflection and growth and a challenge to myself. A couple of years ago, the word that came to me was love. At first, it seemed too easy. I'm a nurturer by nature. But as I dug in, I realized what a challenge I had set myself. Be the love in the room, I prompted myself, but it quickly became evident that that didn't mean something squishy and sweet. In my best moments, being the love in the room meant tapping into a fire, being the one who articulated what love was calling for in that instance. This meant challenging the status quo, speaking truth to power, entering uncomfortable conversations. Love was the most surprising word I ever chose for myself for a word of the year, and one that I think I will never be done working on, because all of this is very much my growing edge. Come, let us dive into the vastness of love.
And we're going to start by loving up a few people. Well, actually, we're going to give them a charge, and then we're going to love them up. So I invite the current board, the board that has just started as of July 1st, to come on up. These are the people members of the congregation have elected to be people who have vision and heart and care and commitment. Yeah. Renee Wiley, your president. Yeah. Pam Kaiser, who's been your president through a lot, deserves a lot of love, and is now shifting to vice president. Janet Dunstan, secretary, who helps us make everything clear. Gail Schultz, your treasurer. Lisa Hayden continues on the board, yay, as a member at large, and Chuck Champlin joins as a new member at large. And the final member is Jeff Gold, a new member on the board. So these are people who very much deserve your appreciation and love and thanks. They work hard, both with the task, but also with the heart. So I'm going to invite members of the congregation to rise, please, those who are members of the congregation, and to issue a charge to these leaders. The words will be up here on the screen. So this is what you are asking of them. Together, we charge you, our circle of chosen leaders, to guide this community with love, vision, and courage, calling forth the best in us through the work that you do. Now take a moment to bring your eyes to them. Yep. And now back to the screen. Tell us not what we want to hear, but what you know to be most honest and true. Help us to reach in and to reach out. Now's your chance to look at them directly. And continue. We call you to nurture a meaningful shared ministry among us and with our minister. We charge you, our circle of chosen leaders, to guide this community with love, vision, and courage, calling forth the best in us through the work that you do. Eyes back. And now to the board. Oh, one more. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, going forward, Cypress. Yeah, because I think it's not time for our, one more, it's time for actually the board to respond because, oh, that's right, one more, here we go. We got you, here we go. We entrust you with the care and safety of our tangible and intangible resources, the gifts of our hands and our treasure, as well as the generosity of our hearts. So I asked the board members, do you accept these charges? And if you do, to say together, I do.
I do.
Thank goodness. Okay. And so, one more slide, Cypress. Together, then. Oh, congregation first. We bless you and all that you do on our behalf with our love, our goodwill, and our willingness to bring our skill, our knowledge, our artistry, and our energy to the journey we share and the mission we have named. So, together, next slide. Together, with courageous love and a sense of wonder, we cultivate our spiritual, emotional, and intellectual strength to create a world more compassionate, sustainable, and just. So with your eyes, your bodies, and your voices, I invite you to love them up for a moment. Thank you. Thank you. And love them up when you see them the rest of the time, too. Thank you, everybody. So way back in 2004, which is almost 20 years ago now, the president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, William Sinkford, was preparing for a phone call with reporters after President Bush called for a constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage. 2004. The UUA and many of our congregations had already been championing marriage equality, and as President Sinkford was debating talking points with his staff, he said, "We stand on the side of love." Well, UU composer Jason Shelton just happened to be waiting just outside to meet with President Sinkford, and he overheard those words, and in that moment started writing a song. And so a song was born. We are standing on the side of love, hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are standing on the side of love. Later, when people who cannot stand said, "We get the broader meaning of the word standing, yes, we get it, and it also feels us leaving a little left out always." The words were changed to, "We are answering the call of love." And so we sing. So I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to sing the first verse and a couple refrains of Answering the Call of Love. The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. When the UUA board, our Association of Unitarian Universalist Congregations, when the board charged a group of people to help us review and renew our purposes, why we exist, and our principles, what those purposes are based in, the board wrote to them, "One core theological value shared widely among us UUs is love. They referenced a study in which Unitarian Universalists ranked loving as an instrumental value, in other words, as a path, loving as a path, and mature love as an ultimate goal, more highly than other groups, religious groups and non-religious groups. Unitarian Universalists named love as a higher value than most other groups. We Unitarian Universalists say we value love, and that loving is for us both the journey and the destination. Now, in a religious tradition that does not require specific religious beliefs, it makes sense that we would find our most common ground in love as both a means and an end, which of course brings to mind elevator buttons. Well, brings them to my mind anyway. Okay, so I have an issue with certain elevator buttons. The button on the left is for opening the doors, and the button on the right is for closing the doors. The challenge for my brain, however, as I'm looking for the button that will do the thing I want it to accomplish, is that the symbol on the left, with the long sides of those triangles butting up against each other in the middle and filling most of that central space, it registers in my mind as closed doors. While the button on the right, with the triangle points at the center, leaving more open space, looks like doors that are open. So every time I face this decision, I mean it, every time I have to stop. I have to translate the meaning of the triangles as arrows, not as the doors themselves. Think about which way I want the doors to go, and then press the button. Do you see my dilemma? The button that looks like closed doors is the button that opens the doors. And the button that looks like open doors is the button that closes the doors. My brain is looking for a straightforward symbol that matches my goal, while the symbol is telling a story that will unfold once I press the button. Now, I was a bit surprised to learn that some Unitarian Universalists are not happy with the idea of naming love as our central value. Cripe, how could you argue with love? But then we don't all register symbols in the same way, as clear as they are meant and expected to be. Some feel love to be too touchy-feely, too religious, too specifically Christian, too vague, or too undefinable to be useful. I've named many times before that a religious tradition that promotes freedom of belief needs a center that is wide enough and deep enough and defined enough and not defined enough to hold us all together, to serve this wide range of all of us as a source of inspiration, of courage, of sustenance, of challenge, and as an anchor and an ideal toward which we point our lives and our day-to-day living. The fact that a symbol as potent as love needs continual defining and translating is both its great challenge and its tremendous strength. The truth in our hearts, each and together, the truth in our hearts is our guide. I invite you to sing. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love, hands joined together as hearts
Sometimes we build a barrier, we sang. It would be naive of us to think of love as easy. Loving is risky business. It requires us to be vulnerable. It can lead us to heartbreak or grief. And yes, sometimes making the choice that love calls us to is just plain hard. We build barriers to love by hardening our hearts against those who espouse different political beliefs, for instance. Othering is a powerful barrier to love. Against an unhoused person so that we can just walk by. Against an idea, such as systemic racism that challenges the comfort of those of us who are white. Against really any perceived enemy, including our own selves. Sometimes self-love is the hardest to come by, isn't it? Those particular barriers have had our whole lives in which to be built. Often I need reminders to let my heart lead rather than my head, to allow that tug of my authentic self to guide me. When my heart leads, I can find my way to empathy much faster, and that can provide the bridge that I can use to get beyond the barrier. One of my favorite things about being in a religious community is being tied to others by a covenant, a promise that we make about how we're going to be together. In the rest of my life outside of church, when a person annoys me, I do my best to avoid them, maybe even going to lengths to not interact with them. But here at UUCM, living within our covenant, I am called to not walk away, to not avoid. And the amazing thing is, I find that I come to love those people. That by staying in connection, I discover things that the barriers I threw up did not allow me to see. Strengths, commonalities, shared purpose, awe-inspiring stick-to-itiveness, whatever it might be. Every time it happens, I am amazed all over again. Love can grow in such unlikely places if we give it a chance. Developmental neuroscientist Dr. Bruce Perry provides us a way to help cross some of those barriers that we put up to love. He suggests that we replace the question, "What is wrong with you?" with the question, "What happened to you?" What is wrong with you is full of blame. It has undertones of othering. It feels aggressive. It's not actually a question in search of an answer, is it? More like an accusation. But what happened to you is a very different question. What happened to you is a question in search of an answer. It seeks to understand. It acknowledges the other and their history, their adaptations to what life has thrown at them that may have contributed to how they're behaving or reacting. And what happened to you is a vital internal question to ask and answer as we seek to love ourselves. So yes, making the choice to love, to be the love in the room is risky. We know this at our core. But answering the call of love offers us untold treasure. Will you take the risk? Will you scale the barriers?
Will you love? 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 Yes, I will. 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 Can you feel? 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 Yes, I can. 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 And are you true? 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 Yes, I am. 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 The moment I saw your face is the moment I remember well. I was born into my body and I was changed into myself. Will you love? 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 Yes, I will. 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 The moment I saw your face is the moment I remember well. I was born into my body and I was changed into myself.
Will you love? Will you love? Will you love? Will you love? Lindsay, I so appreciate your insight and your heart and your modeling. Your modeling. Each week I've been inviting attention to our breathing, to notice what we're hearing, what we're sensing, what we're feeling. The spiritual discipline of love, of loving. In fact, all deep spiritual practices start with our ability to choose where we put our attention. That's the first thing that needs to happen. An ability to choose where we put our attention. To bring our attention to right here, right now, to what actually is. Not so easy, right? So this is the first thing we need to practice and reinforce. If you remember the Karate Kid, where the teacher asked this young man to sand the floor and paint the fence and paint the house and wax on, wax off on the cars. He's waxing the cars, and the kid has no idea, why am I doing this? What? Until it becomes a move that's helpful. And so we learn to put our attention, to be able to choose where we put our attention. So that's why we practice. Loving requires that our attention not be diverted or hijacked by our fears, by our anger, by by our memories, our concerns about tomorrow, our habits, our triggers, what we desire to ignore or avoid. And so it helps to practice directing our attention to the here and now. And so let's practice. I invite you to bring your attention to your body. And that might start with noticing what feels best in terms of how you've placed your body in this moment. Feel free to change. Feel free to uncross or ease or adjust something. And then to notice what's going on inside your body, anywhere inside your body. What do you notice? What do you hear? What are you seeing, even if your eyes are closed? What do you smell? What do you taste? And what is happening with your breathing? I invite you just to notice it, to notice your breathing. What's it feeling like right now? And I offer Thich Nhat Hanh's invitation to breathe in, knowing the whole time that you are breathing in. And to breathe out, knowing the whole time that you are breathing out. Breathing in, following the air through your nostrils or mouth, down into your body. The way those filling lungs move the other organs. And breathing out, feeling that air moving all the way out. Just notice and follow. Throughout this coming ritual of gentle music and silence and placing stones in water to acknowledge and honor our sadnesses, our joys, the feelings held in our hearts, our minds and bodies, I invite you to keep noticing where you are placing your attention. Whether that attention is placed in prayer or in the people in the room, or the feelings in your body, or your heart, or your breath. I invite us throughout to be present to this moment, and to this moment, and to this moment, and to each other. is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all we rest in. Cypress will put the words up for us. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all we rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all we rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all we rest in this love. There are stones in there for all the rest that we hold. In a congregation I served for many years, the minister was trying to help people become more comfortable with silence. So she started with 20 seconds worth in the service, and then moved it to 40 seconds, and then to 1 minute, then a minute and a half. I think we got all the way up to 3 minutes, which is about as much as people could tolerate. And then people who had been Quakers for much of their life said, "You call that silence?" A chance to practice, right? Joys and sorrows is a chance to practice. The third verse of Answering the Call of Love begins this way. A bright new day is dawning when love will not divide. Oh, if only. Reflections of grace in every embrace, the verse continues, fulfilling the vision divine. We're not singing it now, Cypress, but I am quoting it. Yeah. Growing up gay in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in Catholic rural Michigan meant for me very few public blessings of sacred embraces like mine and my beloved's. Precious few affirmations of a love that once dare not speak its name. Jason Shelton, who wrote what is now Answering the Call of Love, said that though he wrote the song with marriage equality in mind and heart almost 20 years ago, he realized later when he sang the song with people in other contexts, like at our UU demonstrations in support of immigrants detained at the border, for example, the song took on entirely new kinds of meaning. This morning, as we consider the centrality of love in our tradition and in our lives, I would invite us to consider every embrace to mean not merely every kind of embrace, which is what Jason was speaking to then, but truly every embrace. To reflect love in every embrace is what love asks of us. To take the risk to be the love in the room, every room, even when we're the only person in the room. We don't need to believe in God or any divinity, although we may, in order to understand the words fulfilling the vision divine as fulfilling our ultimate goal or purpose. Love in every encounter, in every interaction, at the center of every relating. And this goes beyond merely recognizing the divine in each person, or God in each person, or inherent worth and dignity in each and every person, including ourselves. The call that love makes is for us to act on what we recognize. After all, as Bell Hooks reminds us, love is not so much about what we feel as about what we do. Love is as love does, she reminds us. So what does love do? Bell Hooks, trying to define love, she drew on, in part, on Scott Peck's definition of love to help round out her own. Love, he wrote, is the will to nurture one's own and another's spiritual growth. Maybe not what you expected. Love is the will to nurture one's own and another's spiritual growth. But spiritual growth, my friends, deep personal growth, is not a self-improvement project. Spiritual growth is a self-acceptance project. It's not about becoming something more or better or different than who we are, but about realizing who we are most genuinely, most authentically, most truly, beneath the layers and inside the barriers that we and life have piled on top. It's about being who we are beneath what happened to us, to draw on Lindsay's wisdom there. It's about being who we are beneath what happened to us. As Lindsay pointed out, risking being loving among us is the great gift we can offer one another in a covenanted community such as this, when we're emboldened by what this faith tradition asks of us. Hal Walker sang it to us. The moment I saw your face is the moment I remember well. I was born into my body and I was changed into myself. That is the power of love. This summer, beginning in 2 weeks, we'll start to look one at a time at interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity as some of the values that are rooted in and that are themselves expressions of love. Love in action, love in the doing. And along the way, maybe we'll be able gradually to refine what love is to us. Love is ... Maybe we'll come to a shared enough sense of what that symbol means to us, and therefore what it asks of us, of what happens when we press that button. Maybe we'll even learn how better to nurture each other's spiritual growth. And so how better to help each other be changed, not into something else, but to be changed into ourselves. Then a bright new day will dawn. One more verse. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be, and so may we be.
Each week, we get a chance to practice love in action by donating our time, our treasure, and our talents to build a beloved community here that models for the world what that might look like. And each month we give 25% of our offering to a community partner who reflects our values. This month, that is Color Me Human, whose mission is to celebrate, elevate, educate, advocate, and create a safe, equitable world for Black, Indigenous, people of color, and LGBTQ folks. Will the ushers please come forward to accept this morning's offerings? And you can see on the slide other ways to give besides the basket. If you'd like 100% of your cash donation to go to Color Me Human, you may put it in the white envelope in there. Thank you for your generosity. We dedicate this offering to the courageous acts of love that will create a safe, equitable world for all, especially those who are marginalized and minoritized.
For those who can't see and may wonder what's been going on, a young child has been being slid across the floor. So all I have to say is I'm next. Thank you to John Vaughn and Gail Johnson Vaughn and Robin Hart for our fancy moving, spinning symbol that we'll use all summer long. Thank you very much. Lindsay, thank you for being worship associate today. Really beautiful. Toby, thanks for the music as always. Got Andy Dooley Miller and Cypress holding down the fort in the back around the AV. Eileen's been chat host again today. Shanti, a beautiful setting here up front. Really lovely. Gwen and Penny and Carl have been greeters today. Thank you. That makes such a difference. Beth Rose and Martha Turner have been busy helping refreshments happen. I think Carmen is in that mix too. People who have last names starting with N to Z were invited to bring food today. Thank you to everyone who did. There were other loving humans involved in refreshments we know, and Cheryl Spalding and Linda Siska were ready to be with our young ones in Kids Connection.
Hello. I'm late breaking news. Our dear Reverend Kevin Tarsa is turning 60 next week. So we thought we just might sing him happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to
There's a cake. Thank you, and thanks to all of you who've been paving the way and letting me know about the 60s. I understand that the 60s are the happiest decade, so I'm going with that. Thank you very much. I'll be in Michigan. The family reunion just happens, it's not usually in July, but it happens to be on my birthday this year. So I'll be in Michigan with family. Yeah, thank you. I invite you to rise. Oh, a couple announcements. Women's Circle meets tomorrow. Come join. Buildings and Grounds Work Party. These are ever important. Next Saturday, there's a chance to come. 8 o'clock next Saturday. Beat the heat, to beat the heat. And as always, please check the e-chalice and our website, etc., to find out more. I invite us to sing Hell Walker's refrain, will you love, and yes, I will. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and to truly take it to heart. Will you love? 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 Yes, I will. 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 Will you love? 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 Yes, I will. 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 One last time. Yes, I will. 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 For closing words, we return to our opening words. So often we hear them differently at the end of a service than we do at the beginning. Maureen Killeren's wisdom. Love is the aspiration, the spirit that moves and inspires this faith we share. Rightly understood, love can nurture our spirits and transform the world. May the flame of this chalice honor and embody the power and the blessing of love. The love we need, the love we give, the love we are challenged always to remember to share. So then, let's take this flame everywhere we go. Together, let us carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Yes, I will. 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 So may it be, if you're here in the building, please join us for refreshments, including cake and conversation. And otherwise, we'll see you next Sunday, where we tap into pieces of the General Assembly service from a month ago. See you then.